Tamim, thank you so much for being on the show. I know there's a forced break, but my first question to you, Tamim, is how are you dealing with this forced hiatus?
Thank you, Ramiz Bhai. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Yes, Ramiz Bhai. Yeah, it is very unfortunate that we have to go through this. We were not planning to do this. Especially this year, we had a lot of cricket comings. A lot of test matches we were supposed to play. We were supposed to come in Pakistan and play a ODI and test matches. So we were all looking forward to this, but this is very unfortunate. And in this situation, to be very honest, Ramiz Bhai, I'm not thinking about cricket at all because the lives are on stake, and we have to be really careful.
Absolutely. Matthew Hayden has just mentioned the fact that, forget about cricket and so let's worry about human lives. So you seem to be speaking from the same page as well, which makes a lot of sense. But on the other hand, I think cricket boards are struggling because it's the financial aspect that is getting a hit as well. So I think everybody needs to be intelligent and pull in. Tamim, I mean, from cricket point of view, where do you think your career is at this point in time?
I think I'm somewhere in between. I think I'll say, because this is a very crucial time. I think I can still go for another 6 years, and I think if I can somehow take myself to the next level, what some others are doing, then I'll be really happy after I finish my career. I've done okay till now, but if I have to make a name for myself with the best, I have to take myself to the next level.
As an opener, I felt a little uncomfortable, when I was playing for Pakistan, having to see so many opening partners that I was thrown out there with. What is your take on having a consistent partner as an opener, Tamim? I mean, you've had a few. Who is your probably favorite? And what does it do to you if you don't have a regular opener?
I think, Ramiz, first of all, I think I had the most opening partner ever in cricket history, I reckon. I have 19 of them with me. So, so it's always difficult, because when you have a settled opening partner, and then when you go out, you will understand what I mean. That if you go out to ODI game and you're not feeling well, if you're not hitting the ball well, you can always go to your partner. You can say, I might have to take a little more time. You can take care of me. But if you are always with a new partner, Ramiz, then you can't go and tell these things to a young guy because you have to take the responsibility, whether you are feeling good in the match or not. So it's always, if I had a partner for 5 years, 6 years in all three formats, it makes lives very easy. But unfortunately, with my career, I never had that. There were a few like Imrul Kai, Somo Sarkar, but it was always off and on. I had few games with them. So I never had a settled opening partner.
Yeah. I was reading a script of Imrul Kais. I've got to ask you this because you came to his rescue when Virat Kohli was having a go at him. Tell us a little about that story.
Ramiz Bhai, I don't know where he got this from. I actually don't remember it because Ramiz Bhai, you know that there is always some kind of words are exchanged in a cricketing field, whether it's against India or any other team. But we all are friends, Ramiz Bhai. We play very passionately in the game, but when we come out of that field, we are very friends with everyone.
Sure. So talking of passion, I mean, what about the Bangladeshi fans? I've always maintained that, you have the strongest 12th man in the world in the shape of your fans. I mean, tell us a little bit about that fan passion and fan pressure also, Tamim.
Yes, number one, we are very emotional. Our fans are very, very emotional. And we are a cricket mad country, for sure. Sure. Even if you are playing against Zimbabwe, Pakistan, India, South Africa, you name any team, any international game, you will see number of people are coming to the ground, supporting, cheering for the team. So in that aspect, yes, we are very lucky to have fans like them. But also with that emotional fans, that criticism also comes. If you don't do well, if you are not doing well, and if they are not happy with you, there will be a lot of criticism, and that we have to face, and we have to also agree to that it's also part of our life. It's a part of professional cricketers' life. there are times when we do well, they will appreciate you very highly, and then there are times when we don't do well, they will criticize you. But that's fine. But to be very honest, Ramiz bhai, I'm very happy, and we are very lucky to have fans like
Sure.
what we have.
So I mean, do you have a favorite challenge, favorite country that you'd want to play against and do your best? You know, in our case, for example, India was the target most of the times, Tamim, because you know, if you did well against India, you were a star. You know, fans liked your performance and remembered it for a very long time. What about Bangladesh? I mean, who's been your favorite challenge that way?
See, Ramiz, it's always nice to play against team like India and Pakistan. India, yes, India, you do well, you become star overnight. But I also think same for Pakistan, because Pakistan is also a very cricket-loving country. If you do well against Pakistan, you get a lot of love from that country. Whether if I don't belong to Pakistan, it doesn't matter. If you're doing well, because I remember when I played for Peshawar. Still now, I have a lot of fans from Peshawar who always wishes me well. Same goes for India.
That is
India,
for PSL, right?
yeah,
For PSL.
that's for PSL. Still now, if I'm doing well for my country, they always come out and wishes me all the luck in my social media account. Same goes for India. India is such a big country, Ramiz bhai.
Sure.
And when you do well against India, you know you become a star overnight, and you know yourself that you have played so many games against India and you have done well.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, talking of your career, Tamim, I guess your trip to England really made you the star in a way, because you do well in England, you get the headlines all over the world, and not only did you score 100 at Lord's, got your name on the honours board, but also you were the Wisden, or in the Wisden 5, named as the Player of the Year. I mean, was that the turning point in your career?
Yes, Ramiz bhai, because I think that was probably the biggest challenge that came in 2010 in my career to tour England, especially when I have no idea playing against Duke ball. I've always heard about it, that it swings, does that, and then England condition and all and all. It was in one kind of way, it was good that I didn't have too many ideas, because I just went there and enjoyed my game. Alhamdulillah, God was really kind. I scored few runs. And then people started noticing. So yes, that was my, you can say that it was my turning point in my career.
I mean, what goes through a mind of a present day cricketer, Tamim? I just want to understand the mind here, because the challenge is immense. You know, you have to showcase your talent all the time. And then the pressure to perform, and then the pressure to expand your range also, because from test cricketer, you have to become a one-day player and then to T20 slog. How do you adjust? I mean, what are the challenges that are being faced by a cricketer like you in the circuit?
Ramiz, the biggest challenge that I think we face is because we have, now you can see there is so many analysts and there is cameras everywhere. So people and opposition will track you down very quickly. That probably didn't happen 10 years back because of the camera and the facilities probably weren't there. But you have to continuously improve your game because there's so much technology now to find your weaknesses. If you don't take your game to your next level, or if you can't improve every day, then you will get stuck, and people will know your weaknesses and they will find you out. I think that's the biggest challenge nowadays.
Yeah, I was talking with Sangha, you know, I had him interviewed, and he said throughout his career, Tamim, he was quite happy to change his bat grip, change his stance, and he wanted to be ahead of the game all the time, ahead of the bowler, ahead of the tactics. Do you tend to do that also at times?
Ramiz, I'm a bit different in this part. I think I was talking to Virat Kohli yesterday in one of my live shows, and I was asking him that he is probably one batsman who used to stand still when he started his career, and now he goes back and across. So for me, a lot of coaches have asked me to try and do back and across thing where I stand very still. But I never find it very comfortable going back and across, and I always find it very comfortable standing still. So I think
Right.
till now, if I'm doing all right, if I'm scoring runs, if I can play all my shots, then I'll stick to that. Yes, there is no harm trying the different stuff. What Sangha said, yes, he's very right that I've seen him do a lot of changes in his batting, and he has been unbelievable cricketer. Yes, so maybe something to really work on. Maybe if I can do some little changes and be a better batsman, why not?
Yeah. So do you have a favorite left-hander, Tamim?
Ramiz bhai, I started watching cricket and I was the biggest fan of Sanat Jayasuriya and Saeed Anwar.
Right. Yeah, you have a bit of Saeed Anwar in you.
I don't think that. I think Saeed bhai was something else.
No, seriously. I mean, the way you timed the ball, I mean, it reminds me of Saeed. I played a lot of cricket with Saeed, and he was a natural as well, like you. But talking of technique and back and across, I think in subcontinent conditions, you're better off in a way by being more on the front foot than going back and across, because I always felt that you lost a little bit of time because you're not being threatened by short pitch stuff here on these pitches. Mostly the challenges against Spain and against new ball, and that only for first 10 or 12 overs. And then it becomes an easier task. Do you feel the same way that by being on the front foot gives you a little bit extra head start?
Yes, Ramiz bhai, I feel the same way. I think there was time when I was like, I'm talking about 7-8 years back. I was talking to Kumar Sangakkara regarding batting. So he said, he told me once that to play the short ball, the best way is if your body is in front.
Yeah.
If your head position in front, then so then you can somehow survive. Either you can duck it, or you can play a hook shot or pull shot, whatever. But if your weight is at back leg, then you have only two options: either to get hit or you have to do something with the bat. So it's always better if your weight is on the front foot, and then you can do a lot of things. And especially in our condition where the ball doesn't bounce as much as England and South Africa, I always felt that if I'm on front foot, then I have a lot more options.
Yeah. Well, people say, Tamim, and I've watched a lot of Bangladesh cricket also. I think it's time for Bangladesh cricket now to progress with the new ball. I mean, there's been fantastic talent with spin, left arm spin especially. There's a couple of very good off spinners that you have in the lineup. But what about fast bowling? I mean, do you feel that there's one area where you need to just amp it up a little?
Definitely, Ramiz bhai, because the batting is doing all right. There's always room for improvement. But if we somehow can be a better bowling unit, then we will start win big matches, and we will win matches overseas. So especially fast bowling, it's a part. I think if we somehow can have a balanced fast bowling attack, if you see India, where India 10 years back they always had good bowlers, but they didn't have a great team as a team attack. So now they are like probably one of the best. Pakistan is one team that we can learn from, because domestic matches we play in similar kind of a wicket, but Pakistan has always produced top class fast bowlers. So I think if you can even follow the path what Pakistan has been doing, I think that will help Bangladesh cricket, especially in fast bowling unit.
Tamim, do you think it's a cultural thing because spin is in the DNA, fast bowling maybe not as much?
Ramiz, I think we have ourselves to blame in this thing, because if you go back to our domestic matches, you'll not now, but even 2-3 years back, you'll see two spinners are opening the bowling. Probably one or two fast bowlers are playing in the 11, but they don't complete the 10 over quota. So that we used to do, because everybody wanted to win, and the wicket was that always supported the spinners. So I think we have somehow coming out of that thing. You will see a lot of fast bowlers are bowling in first class cricket for longer period of time, even in domestic 50 over game. But it will take some time, because we have been habituated with spinners for at least for last 20-30 years. Now we are slowly changing it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been advocating the case here in Pakistan also, Tamim, that we tend to get some very, very dead tracks or placid tracks, not helpful to fast bowlers, and fast bowling is so much part of our culture that maybe there's a possibility of having the artificial pitches or one or two, where you can actually command things, and that may encourage fast bowling also. Have a turf like Perth, for example, an Australian turf for your domestic match, or when you play against a side that is not going to threaten you with the new ball, to put them in on a makeshift surface like this. Do you agree? Do you think in Bangladesh there's scope of a drop-in pitch?
Yeah, definitely, Ramiz. But I think there's a new technology that also came out, which is a hybrid wickets.
Yeah.
I batted in England. I think in one of the grounds there were hybrid wickets. It's like a fade kind of a grass,
Right.
so it just zips through, and it has plenty of bounces. And I think that can be an issue. We can definitely try. Actually, we were supposed to tour Ireland in June.
Right.
And we were supposed to play one of the games, one of the T20s in hybrid wicket. And I think both the board agreed, and we were supposed to play that game. So it could have been really nice to see what exactly they could have offered. But I think it's always an option with a dropping wicket and hybrid wicket both.
Okay, Tamim, how do you prepare? For example, now you're supposed to go and tour Sri Lanka in July, I think. I don't know whether that tour is still on or not. But how do you prepare when, for example, when you go and play in Sri Lanka against their bowling attack?
Ramiz bhai, in general, you're talking about not at the moment, right?
No, generally, when you come to Pakistan, for example, how do you psyche yourself? How do you prepare yourself?
I think normally when we go to Sri Lanka or any other tour, we go at least 10 days to 2 weeks before. We use the net facilities. We probably play a game, and especially we don't face that much of an issue when we're touring in subcontinent, because we know the condition, and it's pretty much the same. It's very different when we're touring away, especially places like South Africa, New Zealand, because you have to deal with a lot of other things. First, the weather. Second, the wickets. And then especially in South Africa, you have to deal with that. It's not easy to run there because of the high altitude. So there's a lot of things. And especially we were a bit disappointed when we toured Pakistan last time because of the situation. We didn't have time to prepare ourselves. So people sometimes doesn't understand. It's not very easy. The day you come and the next day you're playing. This is not how it works. It's always difficult for the team to go and perform like that way. But it's always good if you go there a week early, do your training, know the facilities, know the grounds, know the corners of the grounds, the size of the grounds and the wicket. So it always helps to prepare yourself.
Do you still feel, Tamim, that Test cricket is the real challenge for a guy like you who plays so many other formats? Do you think it'll survive? And do you think the World Test Championship has helped it to grow as a model?
It has to survive, Ramiz bhai. That Test cricket is the ultimate. You have played so many years, Ramiz bhai. If you score 100 in Test matches, that feeling you will never ever get if you score 100 in ODI or a T20. Test 100 is Test 100, and Test cricket is Test cricket. I think Test Championship is a way forward. I think it will definitely create some buzz around the cricketing fans. I think the way we started the Test Championship was good. Unfortunately, we have to stop it because of the current situation. But I'm sure it will be all right, and people will start giving much more interest what they were giving 2 years back.
Yeah. So Tamim, cricket runs in your family. Your uncle has been an ex-Bangladesh cricketer. Your brother has played cricket as well. Who is your go-to guy? Tell us a little bit about when you were holding a cricket bat when you were small. Who were your coaches? How did you got playing the game in the end? What influenced you?
Normally, Ramiz bhai, to come into cricket, it was very easy because my family is a joint family. We all stayed together, and and my family is known as a sports family in Chittagong, where I come from. So, and then when I was growing up, this '97 ICC trophy happened, where Bangladesh qualified for the World Cup for the first time. And the reaction that I saw, I was at I think class 5, 6 or something like that. But the reaction I saw from the people, it was unreal. I till now I can easily say that if Bangladesh wins a World Cup, we will not have the celebration that we had in '97 when we qualified for the World Cup. I think my house was flooded with colors. You know, the color water that throws. It was unbelievable. So for me to come to cricket, be a part of what my uncle was doing, and it was very easy decision to make. And my father always wanted me to play the game. He always had a dream that I'll play for Bangladesh. Unfortunately, he passed away before I did that. But that's how I got in cricket, and just like, you know, like any other country, we said that under 13s, under 15s, under 17, and then I followed all those things, did well, and slowly I went to the national team.
In that Bangladesh dressing room, Tamim, do you feel the extra pressure on you, for example, on Shakib, on Mushfiq, because this trio has worked wonders for Bangladesh over the years? Do you think the other young players have it in them to take over the role of the trio in the next decade? Do you think that there is enough talent coming through the ranks in the Bangladesh cricket setup?
I think so, Ramiz. I think there are a few players who actually are starting to do well. For an example, Litan Das is starting to play well. Soumya Sarkar is starting to play well. I think we are a team that we probably don't have one or two individuals who can win you the game. When we win, when we have to win a game, we have to probably perform as a team. At least 4 or 5 of us has to perform to their best to win a game. So it's very important, Ramiz bhai, to have the support of the young players. Maybe they cannot give you the major contribution, but if somehow they can contribute a little, then it makes life easy for 5 of us who are the seniors who have been playing cricket for 10 years. I think we can see that. I think the juniors are coming up. For an example, Mustafiz is doing well. Mehdi Miraj, the off spinner, who has produced some match-winning innings. But to be honest, Ramiz bhai, we from the seniors and from the juniors, we need to probably do a little bit more to achieve more results, especially overseas.
So people in Pakistan would want to also know, Tamim, a little bit about your first-class structure. How is it structured? Do you play a lot of 4-day games or 3-day games? Do you play more 1-days compared to 4-day games? How does it work?
Ramiz bhai, we have 2 first-class tournaments, which is that goes for 4 days. So first one, we have 6-7 teams, and then we play each other once. So that's 6-7 games there. And then there's another tournament, we call it BCL. So it's between the 4 top teams. So there's 4 teams with top performer of the other tournament. They come together and play each other twice. So we roughly play 10 first-class games a year, 10 to 12 first-class games a year, and the quality is getting better, I'll say. Compared to few years back, it's now BCB is taking it very, very seriously. They try to prepare green wickets. They try to give best of the facilities, financially wise, and everything. So BCB is actually taking good care of that. And then we have our 50-over competition. I think that's the best competition we have. Ramiz bhai, there's legends has come and played this tournament, from Wasim Akram to a lot of there's big names who has always come and plays this tournament, which is we call it a Dhaka Premier League. I'm sure you have heard about the teams like Abani, Mohammedan. So these all the teams plays. I think that's the best cricket we play, and which is a 50-over format. The intensity and the quality of cricket is really, really high. So these are the basic format into our domestic cricket.
Yeah, and well, in Pakistan, unfortunately, there's been this match-fixing saga that has erupted once again. This Afghanistani player was found guilty of offering, cricketing bribe to somebody who's playing with him in BPL. In Pakistan, it's been going on, Pakistan making bad headlines regarding fixing issues for a long time now. I mean, what is your take on it? Do you think it should be criminalized? Do you think that there are more steps needed to be taken to make it a kosher circuit, a kosher game of cricket?
I think ICC is doing enough, and they're educating people. We all know that every series we play, every big tournaments we go, we get educated by the ICC and the anti-corruption unit. So we should know, a cricketer should know what to do, what not to do. Sure. After that, if an individual still thinks that he has to go and do earn money or do a stupid thing like fixing, that depends on that particular individual. If he loves cricket, if he has passion for his country, and if he loves his country, I don't think any individual will do this. No. Yes, there was a case of the fixing related thing with an Afghanistan player in BPL. I think you cannot sometimes stop that because I think BCB and BPL has been extremely strict about this thing, and BCB takes this very, very seriously. Anything regarding fixing, we have our own anti-corruption unit who looks after all the players, that every player is being educated and everything. But if someone comes from overseas and do this kind of things, because we all know that there are corrupt people around you. They will try to corrupt you in whichever way they can. But you have to be careful. You have to know that you are representing a country, and the number one thing is you started playing the cricket because you love cricket. The money part and all those part came later. Yes, it's very important now. Yes, we have to take care of our family and everything. But when I hold the bat for the first time, it wasn't for the money, Ramiz bhai. It was for the love of the game. You have to remember that before you make any stupid decision like this.
Yeah, I think my take on the subject, Tamim, is that you've got to have a good environment where you feel grounded, where you talk about how glorious this game of cricket is, and anything else related to it is sundry. It's not important. So the add-ons like money, like fame are important, but it's not the end all of the game. And so you've got to understand your value as an ambassador for the sport. And I think there should be people around you that should be telling you all the time your importance as an ambassador. I think at times we cricketers feel bigger than the game because we feel we've got so much to offer that this game revolves around us. And so this has to be quashed. This mindset has got to be laid to rest, because at the end of the day, we're just honest workers trying to, get our records going, enjoy the game that we love so much. And I think education is very important because you're absolutely right that it is almost impossible to stop someone who's made up his mind to fix a game, even though, there's legislation in place. But I think criminalize this activity can be a good deterrent. I don't know whether it'll happen or not, but in Pakistan, I think there's a big debate right now regarding how to stop this menace. And one of the motions put forward by cricketers is to criminalize this because we've gone through hell in the last 20, 30 years. But anyway, now finishing this interview, Tamim, your difficulty quotient. Let's ask you about the bowling difficulty quotient. Who are the bowlers that have troubled you, that have impressed you the most?
I think I've said this recently, Ramiz bhai. Saeed Ajmal, when in his prime, was like an unbelievable bowler. You could not pick him. I could not pick him. Saeed Ajmal was definitely one of them. I think I've told this as well, that if I ever got scared while playing cricket, I think that happens to me once. And that was when Shoaib Akhtar was running at me at the first time I faced. So I think these are the players, and there are a lot of bowlers. If I have to name a fast bowler, probably Morny Morkel, because the round the wicket stuff to left-handers, he probably was the one who started it, and with his height, and it wasn't fun facing him. So there are a lot of bowlers, Ramiz bhai, but if you have to pick me, if you ask me to pick one, I probably will pick Saeed Ajmal in his prime.
Okay, Tamim, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for your time. We've got time to kill also, but it's important that we get ourselves busy as well. I don't know how you're dealing with it, because I would have been extremely frustrated in the middle of my peak, being stopped playing cricket because of this menace. But we've got to be careful also. So here's hoping all the best to you. May this get blown over as quickly as possible, this COVID-19 thing, and we can all start meeting each other on the cricket field, and we can see your exploits as a great left-hander. Thank you for giving us time, and it was wonderful talking to you, Tamim.
Thank you, Ramiz bhai. It was lovely you having me, and thank you very much. You always know that I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
And
I absolutely enjoy your batting. Absolutely.
no, thank you,
Wonderful
Ramiz
stuff.
bhai. Inshallah, I will see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. Thanks a lot, Tamim.
Okay.
Thank you.